As a matter of fact, you should talk to somebody about letters recall for Ohio, Michigan, and New York State. And it was published this morning, and there are students sick in Ohio State University and in Michigan, and it's a recall of letters, and best place to buy it would be in your local roots, local people. You know your producers, and that's the best place to purchase all your vegetables, because you know who grow it, you know what they did it, and you know where to go when something is wrong.
These people who are here buying, they're supporting these individual farmers, these individual producers. The co-op keeps 10%, and otherwise everything that's purchased goes back to those people.
I'm a hydroponic producer. I'm producing lettuce and tomatoes in a greenhouse. I grow cherry tomatoes, package them in a container because it's local roots bring customers in, and all what I have to do, bring my produce and product in, put it on a shelf and walk away, because they do taking money, and they will commission is only 10% from what I bring it in, and I do a pricing. They don't tell me how much I have to price it or how, what I do with it.
Yeah, Local Roots has been fantastic. It's just been a year, I think, since this was an idea, and we got involved very early on because we were really interested in it being a retail market, and also it being an outlet for winter produce, because we are Four Seasons growers. And we started last year and actually found that we didn't really have too many markets for produce in the winter, because most of the farmers markets were closed during that time.
We do have some growers here that already have high tunnels, season extension high tunnels in service. They're already doing it. Some of us are actually, myself included, have applied for EQIP funding through the USDA to build high tunnel greenhouses for season extension. That's on either end of the season. We have a grower right over here who's growing hydroponically. He has his own niche market established fall through early summer, producing tomatoes hydroponically with artificial heat, artificial light. Like I say, necessity is the mother of invention. If there's somebody out there that wants to buy a tomato in January, there's somebody here that's going to grow it for them. They're going to find a way to do it.
Parts per million, CO2 is 402, and sunlight is 502 watt meters. Here is showing the actual graph. On this side is showing parts per million CO2. On this side is showing temperature. Temperature is 71, 72 degrees there. And I have a constant control, constant contact with my greenhouse via my cell phone.
You can actually program your greenhouse to harvest the lettuce too?
No.
Not yet?
No. Unfortunately, no. What I have to do, I have to go there and I have to harvest everything.
I got involved in Local Roots probably about a year ago or more, when we started meeting at the library, a group of friends. Our idea was to have a store where you could buy local food, because we were all running around the whole county picking up produce from this farm, meat from that farm, eggs from somewhere else. And we thought, well, it would be great if there's all this food in this prime agricultural county and you can't buy it in the stores. So that was kind of our motivation.
Yeah. That's actually something that I miss. Is normally on a Saturday we're standing at the table and interacting with our customers. Since it's now open as a retail, we've been dropping off on Friday, and don't get a chance to have that interaction that we did. But on the other side, it's good for us because it allows us to. It don't freeze up Saturday, which is kind of a critical time for the farmers market. So.
Yeah. It's a good market. I have other markets. I go to farmers market. I usually sell more at farmers markets, but this is a good market. as well. It's a different type of market. It's one where I don't have to be here. So I can actually grow a little 20-30% extra produce, bring it here, and still go to the Saturday markets. So it is a way to increase my sales.
And I have some of the cards that I make using homemade paper. This has the official Local Roots stamp on it. And then I also created some Mother's Day cards. And these are ones that you can plant, and Mom can grow wildflowers. Well, we brought along some of our weeds to sell today. Stinging nettles, which is actually nutritious spring green once you cook it, and I have our soup recipe on there. We've got lamb's quarter in here, which is another nutritious green that tastes a lot like spinach. And I love doing edible flowers, so we can dress up your salad for Mother's Day or whatever. My parents think it's pretty hilarious that I'm actually marketing the weeds that are all over our farm, but they've been selling, so they're probably more nutritious than some of the things we grow on purpose. But we've done a couple demonstrations in the demonstration kitchen. My daughter and I have done some. Yeah, I made yogurt and an herb soft cheese using the yogurt, and my daughter made oven fries using rosemary and garlic. Made the place smell pretty good. Then we give out samples, like the yogurt that I made, I mixed with a jam from one of the other producers, and I used milk from Hartzler Dairy. So we used several different things. And then my daughter used potatoes from Weaver's Truck Patch, and then the rosemary and garlic had come from home.
I'm from Ecuador, and being in Local Roots reminds me home, because I grew up in having everyday farmers market in South America, and now with Local Roots we're going to have the same. I have 2 generations of knowledge to grow a good vegetable and raise good food, animals for meat, and I was doing in my farm what I've been taught for generations, and I didn't know that you call organically and grass-based meat, you know, and well, it was so natural for me to do all these things, and people was saying to me, please grow this for me and do this for me, and our products were just in our community. We were selling our products just around our community now, because we have Local Roots here. We can come here and expand all our production now, and I'm glad this new movement, this new idea to support local food is coming here to this country. It's a huge movement going now, and it's going to improve a lot the economic situation that we are now. It's a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, it's a lot of people who want to do something. They just couldn't do it before, like our farm. Good to give to people, and I'm open to teach people. Like a person drive yesterday to my home, and she wants to know how to start her own garden. And we help people to start their own garden. That's normal. You know, I grew up in that kind of culture. Everybody has a small garden in the backyard, and everybody has their own vegetables.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you actually try growing something yourself, whether it works or whether it fails, it makes you appreciate a farmer even more. Yeah, sometimes I look at all the lawn and I go, wait a minute, that could feed a lot of people there. And, you know, actually in my CSA, I have lost a few customers because they've started their own gardens. And so I do bad business occasionally, because I teach them how to grow things and then I lose it. But I also see that as, okay, now who's the next person I'm going to hook into. So I have a number of friends who now have cold frames in their backyards from some of the classes that we taught. And I have people calling me saying, Karen, it's March and I'm eating spinach, and it's because you got me going. And that's exciting, because then it's less work for me to do, because they're growing their own, and it just makes more food security. Because if a crisis ever happens, I'd rather not have them all come to steal from my backyard. I'd rather teach them to grow it in their backyard, and I just think it's just wiser for all of us to be eating closer to home.